big yawn to start?
Yes.
After we just recorded with Big
After a
Peach
big
Smack?
show. Welcome back. Yes, sir. 2-show day for the fellas.
Same outfits if you notice.
Same outfits. Hopefully you guys realize we are back and we are fucking grinding. What did we say to Pete? Back and better than ever, and we're not fucking leaving. Welcome to the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. Back to our usual, I guess I should say regular scheduled programming, even though we want that to be the interviews. But we're going to be bullshitting a lot today. Some fun news, because if you guys aren't following us on our TikTok page, which is just the name of the show, you will see that we love talking about drama. And that's what this show is going to be about. If you're watching on YouTube, do us a big favor, drop a like and a comment. And if you're not already subscribed, well, you're doing something wrong. Hit the subscribe button. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, helps us a lot if you do give us those ratings. Okay, fun stuff to talk about today. Not really going to lay it out because that's the drama and that's the suspense. Let's first start with this. Last night,
You'd be fired if you could find out a way to make the PTI fucking layout and fucking, you know what I'm saying?
I know. I'll look that up.
Yeah,
it's like a ticker. No, I'll figure that out.
If you could do that.
YouTube is a great place.
Facts.
YouTube
University.
YouTube University. Hell yeah. Why do you need college? Never mind. Okay. In South Florida last night, 6ix9ine was jumped. Many people would say that it was, karma's a bitch and everything comes back to bite you in the ass. I think everyone would say that. Pretty crazy. Security was not with him in the sauna, and some guys just ran up on him and sent him to the hospital. As soon as he left there, he was in an ambulance, escorted to the hospital. Don't know what the injuries are, but I did see a video. I don't know if it was TMZ. I don't know what service actually had posted out the video, what platform had posted the video, but his face looked really fucked up.
A couple things. One, I did see the picture of him after. His face wasn't as beat up as I thought it was going to look. It was
really bloody.
Bloody as fuck.
Yeah.
Two, talking about the person who posted it. Supposedly the person who posted it was the person that was in the video beating up 6ix9ine. Like I said, who also supposedly just got out of an 8-year jail sentence. All supposed read on Twitter, but that was kind of something that I kept reading, which is in fucking insane. And he was in the sauna. He was in the sauna.
Yeah.
That's what you saw.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's out of... I mean, I don't know. Being 6ix9ine, knowing what you've done in your past, which you said karma's a bitch, and he 100% deserved what he had coming for him today. He probably deserves worse. You know what I'm saying? But for someone that has done that much, sitting by yourself in the sauna?
Bro, they could have just locked the door. They could have held him in there.
I don't know how they got... Obviously, you're sitting by yourself. Sheesh. That's all I have to say is he's a ballsy man. We all know he's a ballsy man, but... We knew someone was going to get to him. Saying a couple years ago, we were saying someone was going to, I mean, people were trying to jump 6ix9ine, but I think this is the one where like people were like, yeah, he got him, which I'm never too happy to see people get beat the fuck up, but this is the one where I was like,
I guess.
You know what I mean? Get him.
He said, get him. I guess this means if you do some things that are questionable, you can't not walk around without security.
I mean, he's done a lot of questionable things, hit women, called out hoods. I mean, you could get killed for either or. Talk to the wrong person. So you combine the two, that's not a good combination.
Yeah, I just remember seeing that this morning and was like, oh God. And I remember he was appearing in Steve Will Do It videos like months ago, and I mean I don't really watch him anymore. He's on like Rumble and stuff, and I just don't.
I listen.
But like, I don't see him
from Steve's perspective. He could also be saying a lot of the shit, like the stuff I just said, the two things I just said, or maybe the one honestly main thing that would turn people off. It could be alleged or whatever, but 6ix9ine is a sketchy dude in my opinion.
6ix9ine is a sketchy dude.
It's all good though.
Karma comes back every once in a while.
Maybe it's because I never liked his music. Maybe I don't have a bias towards it.
I never really liked it either. Is that like? I mean, I don't know. I'm just
I was never
really into that.
Music.
Sorry. All right, more drama here. Let's kick it over here. I'm going to skip over the one and then go back to the one that you know that's coming. Cam Newton is at Pro Day at his alma mater, Auburn University, and all of this stuff coming out with the videos of what Cam is saying, you know.
Yeah, he's like, there's a lot of guys getting jobs, a lot of randoms. I don't know how.
He said, what'd he say? There ain't 32 motherfuckers that are better than me.
Okay. I can get with that. I can. You want to go to the 32? I mean, Zach Wilson technically had a starting job last year. I love Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson last year, is he better than Cam Newton? Probably not. Love Justin Fields to death. Was Justin Fields Last year Justin Fields was probably really comparable to Cam Newton. Recent.
I think
Justin Fields the year before that, don't know. But those are just rookies, and they're not supposed to be better than. And this is my point. They're not supposed to be better. But let's take the guys who've been in the league for a long time, the journeymen, backups that have starting spots. Can you always say they were 32 guys in the league better than Cam? You could argue it. He's definitely in the bottom tier. Let's not get it twisted, but I can feel where he's coming from. I'll say that. I don't know if I'm ready to validate his statement, but I can definitely feel where he's coming from. If you know what I'm saying.
Could you say there's 32 quarterbacks? Could you say there's 15 that are better than him?
Yeah, 20. Yeah. 25, I'm almost ready to say, yeah. You know, you see where I'm getting at? So it's like, Cam, when you say there's not, what he's kind of saying is I deserve to be in the league and have a spot to play. I agree. You know what I'm saying? Top 32. Let's start. We gotta talk. That's all.
There was a tweet of it with all the quarterbacks listed and who are now starting. So obviously it's different for Washington as Heineke went to Atlanta. So and this one guy had like listed in red. There was like red dots through every quarterback, and there was like 6 that he chose.
That he would take Cam over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like, really? And like he had like Baker on there, Daniel Jones on there, Geno Smith on there, and I'm like, wait a minute.
All right, tweak.
Like there's a little bit more that you can like, come on. But so I do want to go into this. I know you're not a big fan of Nick Wright. I'm not really that much of a fan either. Did see a clip of him from his show, and he's talking about where Cam should go. And he said the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, here's the reasoning. Chad Henne's gone. He retired. And this is Cam doesn't have a ring, number one, so he can get a ring with them, possibly, if they keep this up. And number 2, his big point was Patrick Mahomes is not going to be running as much anymore. Those goal line stands. Now you can basically make a package for Cam Newton. So you don't have to be doing direct snaps to Travis Kelce anymore. And he's still an active player on the roster because he's still getting his snaps maybe down in that goal line package. It's not like he's just going to be that backup every single game. And a lot of the comments when I was reading through this, I saw this on TikTok, a lot of the comments were like, Nick's getting some pretty W takes recently. Like they actually loved it.
No, I like that. I like him there. I like him there a lot. Honestly, I mean, the Birds just picked up Mariota, so he's not in the market for us anymore. If we didn't pick up Mariota, I'd say we're damn near the perfect spot for Cam to come in and be a backup. Other spots, obviously, they probably have the backups in tow, but places like Chicago, he could be a good use.
I'd pick
You
Dallas.
think places like Arizona, he could be a good use? I don't know about giving Cooper ain't losing his job as that backup down there with Jerry and him. That's all good. But we could take Cam and like, I don't know. I mean, there's plenty of places. Any good, I would say, kind of young, mobile quarterback, I feel like Cam would be a perfect backup for. There's no reason Cam doesn't have a job. Let's not get it twisted. We can do all this top 32 stuff, and he'll probably can slot somewhere around 30 to 35. I feel like, sure, let's do it. But he should be on a team.
I saw some clips.
Can we agree on that?
Throws.
He should 100% be on a team.
I do agree. He should be on the team. I saw some throws from Pro Day. Dude's rolling out of the pocket.
You got it.
And he's throwing it 40, 50 yards down
Oh,
the field.
yeah.
Like, and he's hitting them on the numbers.
Talking this shit.
So,
Yeah.
and I do think it was pretty cool that he did it at Auburn on a pro day where he could have just been like, I'm going to be at some random high school in LA and you can meet me there and bring a couple scouts.
I would like Cam in my locker room. I feel like he has just good locker room energy at this point in his career, too.
I don't know. But funny stuff to talk about Cam there. Like, will we actually see him in the league again?
I hope.
Actually scoring touchdowns? Are we going to still see the dab or is that outdated for
It's
him?
outdated.
Maybe Superman? He'll do the Superman.
Like gritty or something.
He'll do the Superman. He will gritty too. All right. In other news,
Sidebar, real quick, is did Leon Edwards kick to the head of Kamar Usman end his career? I think it ended his career. I think he's hot take. Usman's done. Usman, I love him to death. Great fighter. I can't see Usman doing no podcast, doing no YouTube.
I just want to see where he goes next.
Maybe being on the booth. I mean, I could have said the same about DC, but DC is more of a personality in the UFC that I feel like than Usman was. I just hope that Leon Edwards' one big kick in the very winning moments of their first fight didn't ruin his career because, I mean, listen, he tried to do the thing where he walked up to Leon and tried to punk him. I saw, and then he did that back, and I saw that shit.
That was sick.
If people are doing that to Usman now, he might not be that same. He might not have that same aura to him.
I honestly didn't. I mean, that's just stupid to say because the first one basically went the distance. Basically,
Yeah.
I didn't think it was going the distance this time.
I think he would have won the first one, no, if he didn't get knocked out.
I think he would have too.
Yeah, okay.
my one thing is like, where does Usman go next? The big thing though is where Leon at the press conference was saying, you know, I should get to pick who I go next. I'm the champ. You know, I hold the belt. Man. I get to pick who goes next. Now, Dana White had come out and said it was going to be Colby Covington. And
I don't want to see Colby Covington get his ass beat.
And they're saying that to Leon. And he's like, well, I've been actively fighting. Colby hasn't been actively fighting. So why does he deserve, why does he get to come back and deserve an immediate title shot when I've been in here fighting and I'm defending and I'm winning titles and then defending said title? Why does he get to come in here and then have a shot to take it from me? So then all the comments are like, well, he's just scared of Colby. Hate to break it to you, but it's going to be Colby. He's just scared of Colby. I'm like, I don't think Leon and I were just scared of Colby at all. If he's in Usman's face going click, 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 bang, 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 reload, click, click, click.
Covington,
get out of here, bro. And he's a seller. Colby's a seller.
He is.
Colby's a seller. I don't know if Leon's that much of a seller as Colby is. I think Colby's going to
sell. With the belt he is, but without the belt, who knows?
Right. And that's all the stuff, like all the talk that Usman said in their press conference before the fight where he's like, I bullied you for that entire fight. I bullied you. I'm just like, so essentially we know where Leon might go. I just want to know where Usman goes.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like
I just didn't look the same, man. I don't know. I could be tweaking, but it could be over. That's all I'm saying. It could be over. Hopefully not. Hopefully not. All right. So funny story here. And this raises a good question at the end of this. So down in spring training at one of the Phillies games, the last day we're sitting in the berm, which is basically in the outfield in the grassy section. And there's not much space between us and the fence. So you can see the right fielder when it goes to commercial break, or when they run out and they're doing their warm-up tosses, they'll toss the ball up to the fans. Now, you have to know a lot of those kids are young kids. And all of them have gloves. Every single fucking one of them has gloves. So they're all calling their names, and their high-pitched voices squealing at them, calling names, saying, give me a ball, give me a ball. So they will toss a ball up, and they'll play jackpot, basically, and fight for the ball. So one of the times, they toss the ball up. There's 25 kids there. Probably 15 have gloves. They toss the ball up. Every single fucking one of them misses the ball. It takes one bounce, and my mom has her hands up, and it bounces right into her hands, right in her lap. All fucking 25 of them come up with their gloves stretched out, like put it in there, put it in there. So she hands it to my sister, and then my sister puts it in the glove. So I'm like, where can we draw the line on giving baseballs to kids? My mom's a diehard fucking Phillies fan. Why can't she have the fucking ball? Why can't you get the foul ball that you all missed it? You lost your chance. But if we don't hand the ball over, then everyone's going to boo around us and say we're the jackasses because we didn't give the ball to the kid. Well, you missed your chance. I want to give a ball to my diehard Phillies fan of a mother. Is there a line that we can draw with giving these balls away to kids? Yeah.
Like, will we never get a foul ball anymore?
There is a line you can draw, and it's the home run ball from a notable star of your team at like a milestone, or even like a notable star of your team. I don't know. Like if you caught, let's say Bryce Harper's 300th home run with the Phillies, the kid's not getting that. You caught Bryce Harper's 5th home run with the Phillies. It kid might have to get that job. Even Bryce Harper, like a Bryce Harper playoff home run, I ain't doing this. What? Give it to you. No draw, but like a May game, JT Realmuto home run ball, you can have that.
But this is like,
you know what I'm saying? You can have that. What I would do personally, instead of just putting in the one person's glove, y'all got to redo that. No, survival of the fittest. The best athlete's getting this ball. We're going to throw this thing back up. I ain't handing it to nobody.
I see that's smart. But my whole thing is like, this is guys that are doing long toss before they come back from commercial break. And once we're back from commercial break, we're ready to resume play and get to the bottom half of the inning. And you guys are just tossing that same warm-up ball that you were doing long toss with, and you're just throwing that up to the kids. And they all miss it. I don't know how. We have 15 gloves that we all miss it. Well, you miss your chance.
My line is if I really want the ball, like if I don't really care about it, if it's someone I don't really care about catching the ball, here you go. But if it's something I want and there's a reason I want it, you ain't getting it.
And here was the other thing too. It was the Braves that were tossing it. So I'm like, all of you guys who are wearing Phillies jerseys, you don't want this ball.
It's just kids. It's just kids, bro.
So I
had something I actually just like literally thought of that I wanted to say, because I remember you texted me and you said it was always Jordan Spieth. And I actually, funny enough, I hopped on the train. I forget what hole's the par 5 on the front nine. Was it the 4th? Was it the 4th or 5th was the par 5? I think it was the 4th, correct? I hopped on right before Shank bogeyed the 4th. So I got Jordan Spieth at like live, like probably plus. I got him at plus 310, and I got him again at plus 260. You think Oh my God. First of all, Shank is going bogey birdie, bogey birdie, bogey birdie. He's annoying as fuck. At this time, though, Spiether is playing great golf. Great golf. I'm seeing his back. He's getting in the sand. He's saving himself. He's knocking out like 12 footers. He's saving himself for par on like 18 footers. He's getting out of the rough. I'm thinking, okay, we have Spieth on a course that you need to have solid short game and save yourself. He's going right. He's saving himself, saving par. I have a plus 310 Jordan Spieth. We're good. We are good. I don't know what hole he is, but he gets to it and his motherfucker goes in the water. This is the second time I've had Spieth with some value. It was the U.S. Open, I believe it was, when he was talking to his caddy in the bunker. And now with this one, where we have a valuable Jordan Spieth ticket and he just goes into the water. Why did he always do this shit?
Bro, I was on my hands and knees when it went in the water because I thought it was over. What a hell of a bogey save, though.
But 100%. I'm just saying, it's just like, what is good with him? Why can't he just play clean golf when you bet on him? Why can't he just play clean golf?
He had, and there was, I mean, I believe that was a bogey-free round until then. Now,
the only bogey-free round as well.
Correct. And when he got to the green, I mean, that was like an 18-foot putt to save bogey. If he missed that, he wouldn't have needed to play the rest.
Yeah, it's over.
And he somehow makes that, and I'm like fired up again. I'm like, okay, we only lost one. Then we know that Shank's gonna drop one, whatever. Then, like, we saw how big that putt was. And what all the commentators were saying was when Jordan Spieth needs to make a putt, he's going to do so. He did that right there. Then we go to 17, and he puts that hell of a shot into the green. Mm-hmm. And we're like, oh my God. I mean, this is easy makeable range. I mean, we're like, I don't know what it was. Maybe it was 7 feet, maybe it was 8 feet, maybe it was 10 feet, something like that. And he just left it short and it dropped at the end. And you can see he's like mouthing to himself and he's like, I just didn't hit it. Didn't hit it. So I'm like, you spanked the shit out of that bogey putt to get in from 18 feet. And this is maybe less than 10 feet. And you didn't need to spank it, but you didn't need to baby it. Like the big thing that I was saying, my dad and I were saying, we're like, well, what were you so worried about a 4 or 5 footer coming back if you just blew it past it? Like in a putt where you needed to make it, because then he's winning. He's winning.
It just shit happens out there. Bro.
And then we have a 27-year-old who has never won on tour at all.
Him though. He was playing great golf. Wasn't affected by the scoreboard. He kept doing his thing, man.
He kept doing his thing, bro. I needed that. I'm still gonna root for him. It's been my guy.
We'll take him again.
So long ago. Maybe this is Matt. Is this Masters year?
I took Cam Young in the match play plus 3,100. I don't think you can beat that.
I made some stupid ass parlay like 15.
Plus 3,100.
I took like the match winners from like 6 groups. It was like 15 for like $2,100.
Fuck it.
I'm like, fuck it.
Cam Young plus 3,100.
Like, fuck it.
Take a look.
But good on the golf talk there. Okay.
March Madness.
I do want to touch on this for a second here. World Baseball Classic.
Oh, fuck yeah. So
we got I was watching the whole thing because most of it was down when we were in Florida. So at night we had those games and they started late. So what else am I doing? So I just want to hear from you, from somebody that you had said, hadn't really watched a lick. We saw Edwin Diaz go down.
I saw that.
And we saw some questions being asked to World Baseball players that were playing in this. What matters more, a championship in this or a World Series championship? And a lot of them said, or both the same. Some said both. One said World Series. Everybody else said World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, playing for your country means more. From what I saw from the World Baseball Classic, the clips I saw and shit, like that shit was lit. Like from what I saw, I watched the final. It sucked, but it was. I mean, that shit was awesome. Seeing fucking Ohtani get Mike Trout for the last out. I mean, even you Darvish, even the young 20-year-olds from Japan that you don't know that are fucking coming in and just dealing. That game itself was sick, but I know the rest of that shit had to be. I just was not. I mean, you got to think there's March Madness on, me.
For sure, but I think the other thing too is like.
But as far as the injuries you're saying, I don't. It's what happens. Like, especially with these World Cup-esque sports, like as baseball now and with World Baseball Classic and like the soccer with the Olympics. Those kind of sports, it's not like football, it's not like rugby. You're not mashing heads all the time. Like injuries can happen, and catastrophic season-ending injuries can happen. But for it being the World Baseball, it's every 4 years, right? I'm not tweaking.
So the next one will be in 26.
For it to be every 4 years, and the possibility of you having a season-ending injury for baseball, and how much these people care about the World Baseball Classic more than they care about the World Series, gotta let him rock. You know what I'm saying? Just at the end of the day, you gotta let him rock. I feel like.
And let's also not take away the whole injury thing from the fact that it was nothing. It had nothing to do with the play on the field. He was celebrating.
Right, exactly.
That could have happened in a fucking National League Championship
Right.
Series.
No, exactly.
And he would have missed the whole World Series. And then what are we going to say?
Exactly.
Fuck the World Series, bro. Fuck the playoffs. Why don't we just all go to the World Series?
Nah.
So I think a lot of the things that, when Mexico lost, they, their manager said, the World Baseball Classic won tonight.
Their fans were sick.
And USA coach, same thing. World Baseball Classic won tonight. This drew 1.3 million fans. World Baseball Classic, which is a tournament record. Pretty cool. Japan gets to win since 2009. First since 2009. I do think having Merrill Kelly, no disrespect, but having Merrill Kelly pitch in a championship game, just even though the batting order was so goddamn stacked and it was an all-star lineup, still missing some of those couple guys, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, those guys. What would you even do with them, to be honest, with that lineup? We just didn't have those star pitchers for the U.S. Now, the big thing I saw was Max Scherzer saying, well, how do you feel about not being there? And he's like, I couldn't be because I wouldn't be ready to pitch in that.
If we had
right now.
everybody pitching, like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
Even
what it
if-
is. That's what it comes down to.
If we had everybody pitching,
I mean, but he brings up a good point. He's older.
Yeah,
He can't be, and they're asking him questions when he has ice packs from his forearm up to his chest.
it's March.
And he's like, it's March, dude. I can't be ready for that. And now in the next one, like, if let's say we do, we everybody wants to go do that again for USA. Well, Justin Verlander's not going to be there. He's probably out of the league. Max Scherzer's probably not going to be there. He's probably going to be out of the league. Will Garrett Cole be able to make an appearance? Don't know. Could DeGrom make an appearance? Maybe. Don't know.
It's plenty of young guys.
And that's what I was talking to my mom about it. She's like, this is just the time where the younger guys are just gonna have to step
It's
up.
gonna be sick. Yeah.
Just gonna have to step up. But that was really, really fun to watch. It just felt different. I mean, it's March. We're seeing like championship style baseball covered on Fox. We know that Fox had the World Series, so it kind of felt a lot like that. So fun to watch, and you got to be happy with how the Phillies performed. JT Realmuto, of course, Kyle Schwarber, and then how the hell can we leave out
Turner,
the new signee,
Nukes.
Trey Turner, who basically said he doesn't home run or he doesn't hit home runs in spring training or he never has, and he has 4 home runs in the last 7 at-bats. Like,
Nah. I mean, he has that power. He always has that power. He's just that kind of guy. He can get off for home runs whenever. He just doesn't always do it.
I'm a Phillies
It was
fan,
good
I'm
to
hyped.
see the Phillies guys though getting off. I don't want to. It's not like I'm harping on a bad note, but like when JT had came up, I think it was the 7th inning, and we had first and second. I was thinking this is like a classic. JT's about to put one in the gap, and he swings at the first pitch and pops out. I was so upset. But besides that,
the one that I didn't like is
Schwarber going yak in the classic
was
Schwarber situation was just so it literally felt like I was watching a Phillies game, just the way he did it in the situation. It being a solo home run as well. Like it literally just felt like I was watching a literal Phillies game. And then seeing, which is one thing I'm interested to watch, is Trey Turner's range in the field. So he had made a play versus, I think it was Ohtani he made. They were in a shift, and he made like a diving stop on the web of his glove. And just that addition, along with his bat, but I think him in the field is just as, if not more nasty than him in the batter's box, and him on the base paths as well with a guy like Bryce Harper and JT.
Bro, John Smoltz.
There's a lot to. I saw like a little sample size. I was like, I like this Trey Turner. I mean, I always liked him, but I'm like him being on the Phillies. We have a star-studded lineup. He's gonna like it here. I think
John Smoltz in the booth literally saying that Trey Turner's going to lead the league in stolen bases.
exactly. That's
And
what I'm
then,
saying.
to the contrary of Trey Turner, they have Tim Anderson as well, and they have to move him to second, which he hasn't played in his entire life at the professional level.
Yeah.
Talking AAA too.
Yeah.
And they have to move him because Trey Turner's, I'm the shortstop.
He's
bro.
just that good.
Like, hey.
And yeah.
And then what I liked about Schwarber in the first game, they went down like 1-0 early on a solo shot. Forget who it was. Some team that they should have blown out. And they will go 1-0 early on a solo shot in the top half of the inning. Schwarber comes up. Tie game. No worries.
what he does,
just
bruh.
spots. The one that I did not like from last night, late in the game, I believe there was runners on first and second, or there was a runner on first, something like that. 3-0 count, swings at it, pops it right up to shallow center field, and I'm like, wait, just like,
That
wait,
was his at bat in the 6th. That
wait.
was his at bat in the 6th inning.
just wait.
And then that was his at bat in the 6th. Then he came up in the 8th and adjusted. He had a 10 pitch at bat.
And then literally, of course, there's no one on base for that.
Yeah,
But look, we got the
typical.
dream matchup.
Typical.
Like, what was so cool about that is Trout gives the nod to Ohtani, and Ohtani's like, game face, and he goes 3 straight, 100, 100, 100.
Right at
and
him.
the nastiest slider I've ever seen.
But, like, right at
the
him.
third pitch of that 100-mile-an-hour pitch was literally could not have been more down the middle.
Just throwing it right at him.
But he just said, "Here, come meet me, bro." And what was very, very funny is they're showing it on Twitter now. MLB Network during the All-Star game had the two of them up, Trout and Ohtani, and they were asking Ohtani, like, would you ever like to face Trout? He's like, yeah. And then like the MLB TV guys are like, World Baseball Classic. And then Trout's like, yeah, you know what? Hey, like that might actually happen. And then all the Japan guys at the end, they're like, you couldn't have wrote it better. 3-2 count in a huge moment, and it's Trout versus Ohtani. Mm-hmm. And now everyone's like, well, Ohtani's not going to stay there anymore. I saw Colin Cowherd saying like his best case scenario is going to the Dodgers because they draw more fans. And there was 65 million people that had watched Ohtani from Japan, and they're like, this is the crowds that he draws.
The Yankees need Shohei Ohtani. And this
They
is
can't
like,
pay his ass.
I know, but this is not a realistic scenario, but this is just an off base thing. Just because of baseball, like, bro, remember we did content at Yankee Stadium and how many chicks that had an Aaron Judge jersey on that didn't know who Aaron Judge was?
Facts.
That's fucking crazy. But like, think like back to like the 2004 ALCS. Any female in the nation want to get their hands on A-Rod or Jeter.
Oh, yeah.
Knew who they were very, very well. Like, very well. Go up to even 08, 07, 08. Any chick in the Philadelphia area knew very well who Chase Utley was. Knew very well who Ryan Howard was. Like, I'm not saying it's probably, it's not too much worse. I'm just saying, even with, it's just like people were saying how he's in Anaheim and just the marketability with the Angels and all that shit. Like, I think in a time, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago, he could be anywhere and he'd be marketable. It's just crazy. I think he would be more marketable in New York and he'd be more marketable wherever they're saying he should go. But it's kind of crazy how like baseball, I hope it gets revived where it's more people. I like these guys being global superstars. It's sick. Like that's the part of baseball that's cool. Like Jeter and A-Rod were legit red carpet superstars. I mean, they're still like Mike Trout should be at that caliber. Like I feel like why shouldn't he? But it's just, I guess it's the appeal of draw. I don't know what it is. How much different? I wasn't around for Jeter's, you know what I mean, prime, watching all of his interviews and seeing how he was, but I don't know, like how much more charismatic is Jeter than Mookie Betts? You know what I mean? It's crazy to think about. It's crazy. Like how can Mookie Betts walk in a Dunkin' and walk into a Dunkin' in Philadelphia and just some random Temple chick knows Mookie Betts? Like how out of 10 females, how many of them you would know would be like, oh my God, it's Mookie Betts?
Maybe one, bro.
I was gonna say 2. Like the couple that really watch the Phillies, it's crazy to think about.
It is crazy to think about. All right, over to March Madness. Big stuff early on. I made 4 brackets. I had Kansas in one, L. Actually, my most successful bracket that's in the 96th percentile, because there was some good upsets in there, is fucking Arizona. Nice. So that's not a winner.
Nice.
Nice. I have a Houston bracket.
I don't think that's gonna hit.
And I mean, that's the only one that's in the 77.
I don't like Houston. I've been fading Houston and I've been losing, but I've been fading Houston.
Bro. Like this is why, like, I can't do March Madness without making a bracket, because it's like you just have to make a bracket. But like once like Arizona lost, I'm like, I'm not even looking at the bracket anymore, and I'm just working on like best bets. And I will tell you what's been very, very successful for me, or like what was before like it went downhill, was first half overs. Like Thursday and Friday, those first 2 days where you can literally bet on every single game starting from 12 and ending at fucking 12, like first half overs, and then first half spreads, and then all this, and this. But then when you get down to, one game every 3 hours, it's like you got to be a lot more picky with what your picks are, because you don't have a game right next. That's man. Where like the shit went downhill.
We've been killing the spreads. Per usual, it is, bro. Every March you gotta be taking dogs. I be trying like ingrain it in people's heads. Like it's literally tailor made for people just to take dogs. You don't even have to take. I know Seamus takes every money line. Now you told me he takes every money line.
Yeah.
But you don't even, bro. Just take the spreads that you like and teams that you could think can make an upset. Like it's not easy, but like shit, fucking. I'm chilling one day in the crib. Justin sends me the video of the FDU coach saying, I hope Purdue sees this. We could beat Purdue. We can beat them. Yeah. They reply back, I'm taking them. I took them plus 22.5. Didn't think about it. Boom, cash. Like
that's what I had too.
Like I don't know. You just, when it comes to March, man, let the dogs bark.
Well, that's the whole
And
thing
you will
too.
be fine. I think over time, I don't know what the numbers are in our March Madness underdogs in general, but I think if you look at those, I would say over 5.5, like 5.5 point dogs, I feel like they're hitting at like a 50%, 52% clip, 53% clip. I feel like the dogs in March got to be a little more profitable than the favorites, just because how lopsided those first weekend games are. Even like you'll get the first weekend games, like FDU was still a 15.5 point dog in their second game.
I took that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I took him at half, 13.5.
Shit's crazy. And there's some fucking disgusting beats. I profited from the TCU one because I had TCU, but there's been some disgusting beats. Like where you almost would rather have the dog. Penn State, the dog, it was the bad beat. Who did Alabama play round one? Was that an over or was that the underdog spread bad beat?
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
What's it? Texas A&M CC.
Yeah. We had versus Alabama. Like, Jesus Christ, bro. You rather almost just have the dog ticket because you know the underdogs will actually know because Charleston got fucked. Remember, they fouled with like 0.2 seconds left? Yep. Yeah, I don't know. Man. You got to be able to. Bad beats in March are just disgusting, I guess.
My fun one was the Pitt money line in the first round.
Love that.
That was like, that was plus like 195 or something. My bad beat on Sunday, forget what game it was. God damn it. It might have been whatever who was it? I think it might have been the Baylor game, Baylor Creighton. I'm not positive, but it was a first half over, and there was 4 minutes and 6 seconds left, and I needed like fucking 4 points to hit the over. There was 2 points scored in 4 fucking minutes.
Been some. I've been taking some.
Are we kidding?
No, there's been some wicked. The scoring droughts in March Madness are actually fucked. Like just watching them, it's actually painful to watch. But like looking at this scope. Well, first of all, the FDU shit's fucking crazy.
Yeah, like super cool for Tobin Anderson, D2 coach last
just
year.
All those kids too. I think it shines a light. Like people don't understand how good just college basketball players are. Like if you were a college basketball player, people don't really understand how good they are. Most of those guys were D2 players with Tobin Anderson.
With Tobin last year, and then he comes into a team that's a 4-win team, turns him into this, and then he now gets to. And he what did he say? His dream was to be in March Madness, and now he's at Iona now, where he can potentially go to March Madness every single fucking year he's there.
Absolutely, and they so my boy plays at Hartford. They played the Northeastern Conference, like they played their schedule. So they played FDU. They actually beat FDU. They were FDU's worst loss. They almost stopped FDU from getting in the conference. But he was saying how he was not surprised at all. He actually said that FDU would upset Purdue because of the style of basketball that they play. And you watch them play, it's 100% true because it's the most structured, calculated, helter-skelter double-teaming press you'll ever see. It looks like the most hosh-posh, man-to-man, just run at you double, triple team press. But the way they do it, and even in the half court, the way they play defense and go and double team you, it will just give teams that have no time to scout so much goddamn trouble. And you see people say like Purdue's trash and this, that. Purdue is not trash. I'm not gonna make you look at the record, but number 1 seed, I'm pretty sure they had 5 losses total. That means they had to have no more than 3, 4, 5 losses in the Big Ten. If you don't have any more than 3, 4 losses in the Big Ten off the Big Ten schedule, mind you, this year the Big Ten was probably the best, most evenly distributed conference from top to bottom. You're a goddamn good basketball team. Like it's not that. They had Zach Edey. They had to play of the year. Like let's relax. Just it was a perfect storm of just style, style, story, destiny. Like I feel like even a team playing like a regular half court offense, I don't think it would have worked. Any good, like the best mid-major team coming in as a 16 seed could have played like a half court offense, and I don't think it would have worked. I think it's just the style they played with the pressing and all that. Just like it was just crazy to watch, bro. Because honestly, I feel like everyone who's played at the high school basketball level has played a team that has like a style team that has that crazy ass press, and like you blow like a 10-point lead, you lose to a press, and you just think like. You even watch March Madness and you're like, bro, this can't happen at a college level. Like a team like this can't win. And like these guys do it. It's like it's a bunch of D2 guys. Like it's hella inspirational, hella cool to watch. And like as a hooper and people like I don't know. People gotta stop sleeping on the D2 hoopers. That's all I'm gonna say. Hey. D2 athletes in general, D3 athletes at that, like, bro, there's a lot of people out here that could cook people on your favorite college team, and whether you want to admit it or not, they're out here. Like it's well known.
With Purdue, I mean. Like, it's this simple. We knew that they were on the fence of being a fraudulent team. They lost twice to Indiana this year. They had that bad loss to Maryland. Who else did they lose to? Rutgers. And I believe it was one more, Northwestern. And my big thing is, like, I didn't have them going past the round of 32. I actually had them losing to Memphis in every single one of my brackets. Every single one. Yeah. Now, it doesn't help that fucking Memphis lost. But I did have Memphis money line, Memphis minus 1.5.
I think they would have been fine.
But
I don't know if they would have been.
I did not. I didn't have them going. I did not. If they had FAU, I'm not saying. I mean, FAU beat Memphis. I don't know. I just was super high on Memphis. I really just. I think they would have gotten through FAU, but I just did not see Purdue going further. I'm looking at the bracket here.
I didn't have Purdue anywhere near past the Sweet 16.
Anywhere.
I had them as a legit team. Like,
so
the Big Ten is a very, very good conference.
Can we
in the March Madness this year?
Let's go over some teams here. Rose the rest of the way. Super happy for Tom Izzo. This is where we get to see why good coaches are great coaches. Beating USC, which I had, and again, tough match up there.
I bet on Michigan State.
So did I. I had, in a couple of my brackets, I went like 2-2 with them, but I was high on Michigan. And like I said, I was more focused on the betting. Big win against Marquette.
Easy.
Huge win against Marquette. Now Kansas State, where I really thought they were going to get Kentucky, and who knows how that game would have actually ended up. I mean, if they get through this game, they'll have FAU or Tennessee. I mean, if they get through this game, there's a real fair shot that they're on the road to the Final Four.
Right.
Now, let's talk about UConn. Do we think UConn can actually get there? Arkansas, and then the winner of UCLA, Gonzaga. That's tough. But a lot of people are high on UConn this year.
No, yeah. I mean, when it comes, listen, this is what, like, college basketball this year is. Even just look at the teams that you just named. There's so many teams that you just named that are I can't be any higher than a 4 seed. I'm pretty sure you named maybe 1 4 seed.
So I have
just all the teams you just named. I think it was 1 4 seed.
UConn's a 4, yeah.
1 4 seed you name, and then 1 5 seed you name.
So I have a 4 out of UConn and 8 out of Arkansas. Tennessee's a 4. Kansas State and Gonzaga are 3s. Michigan State's a 7. UCLA's 2.
That just shows like all this college basketball season has shown is the power of the NIL and the power of the transfer portal. Like, any team that's investing heavily in NIL, and any team that's not even like abusing. I mean, some teams are abusing the transfer portal, but some teams are just manipulating the transfer portal. And this shit is wide the fuck open. Like, before, I mean, even as much as like 3 years ago, even COVID, even during COVID, it wasn't as much as the NIL and transfer portal. It was coming into fruition, but it was more so you had like guys on Baylor and stuff that were like 24, 25. We still see it, but like the COVID years and all that stuff, there were guys that were older and these teams were kind of going back in and all that. Now it's full on transfer portal, full on teams will be able to compete at the highest level with this NIL stuff. And to be honest, I like it. Some people I've seen don't like it, but it leads to shit like this. We see the Tennessees of the world making runs. We see Arkansas's 8 team. Arkansas, I mean, SEC is another conference that was stacked top to bottom. So are they
the Razorbacks?
Are they a real 8 seed? But just seeing how much the transfer portal has evened out the field of college basketball has made something like March Madness that was already electric to watch no matter what without the transfer portal and NIL being a thing, making it that much more electric and have that much more parity and something like this. Like, I don't know. It makes the experience of March Madness way more cool to me, and even be able to make predictions. Like, if we were to sit down and fucking talk about March Madness 2 weeks ago and give our predictions about even like teams that would make it to the Sweet 16 favorites, we probably would have been literally all wrong. Like, think about that. You said how many 2 seeds? I'm sorry.
So there's Texas. That's a 2. UCLA.
All right, I would have had UCLA because I had Texas losing to Penn State. So I would have had UCLA.
Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
Right? I would have had, out of the 2s, I would have had UCLA. That's it, bro. Like, think about that shit. Like, the way the transfer portal has opened up the competition in college basketball has been, I mean, I personally love it. I think it's going to help promote even more kids. I mean, obviously, there always will be a big one and done culture.
Yeah. But
I mean, it helps even more kids stick around. Like, I could go somewhere else, a lower tier, even a mid-major for a year or two. I can go transfer portal to a big school, and then I can do my quote unquote one and done, even though I'm a junior. I'm just saying my one at this big school while I'm a junior, while I'm a sophomore, and then move on. I kind of like what it could do for college basketball. I could be wrong, it's still early, but I kind of, and the teams that don't invest in this NIL stuff that's going on, because listen, bro, if you don't think there's black hat under the table shit going on, tripping. But the teams that don't invest in this NIL stuff, that's basically what I'm saying, they're gonna be punished for it. But I think it makes the whole landscape of college basketball a lot more interesting.
Well, we actually might see our only chalky Elite Eight matchup in the Midwest if both Texas and Houston were to win. Houston against Miami and Texas against Xavier, we would see our only 1 and 2.
It's fine with me.
Which is wild to think about, though.
No, it's fine.
You know
with
what
me.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's like our only 1 and 2. Creighton did have a really, really good game against Baylor. I mean, there was.
Creighton's good too, though. The Big East was really
So that's where my question is. For Princeton, does the road end here?
Probably. But like they have a really good matchup. Like they can match up well with Creighton as far as what they run offensively, lengthwise. They do have a couple of guys that can line up with them. Listen. I think the road ends here for Princeton because I do like Creighton
How
as a
cool
team.
would that be?
I did have Creighton beating Baylor as well. But
Did you? Good for you.
I did, but it is one of those things where I would not be shocked if the Princeton Tigers are in the Elite Eight. I wouldn't be shocked at all. And it's I mean that's not even I would say more so transfer portal, but not like NIL. They're not dump. At least I don't think they're dumping.
No chance, bro.
You never know. I'm just saying, but it just goes to show there's so many different ways to win, and like something that's cool about Princeton and even FDU, but not as much as Princeton. Like seeing teams that run these old concepts that still work in a new age game. They have obviously they run pick and roll and they do different things that people do nowadays, but they still do the Princeton offense, still run back doors and see it incorporated in like how it is in today's offense and today's speed of the game is at, and it still fucking works. Like it's actually crazy to watch. You really don't believe it when you're watching this shit. Like it's actually kind of crazy.
So cool note I want to add here too is Final Four is in Houston. Now Jim Nantz did announce that this is his last March Madness.
Wrong.
His alma mater is Houston. So what he said was like, how cool would it be for me to call the national championship in Houston when Houston's going for it?
Damn, that's fucked because they're not going to go. They're just not going to go.
It would be.
I do not believe in Houston whatsoever. So I didn't believe in them when Sasha was fully healthy, and now Marcus Sasha's growing and everything's gone. I do not believe in Houston.
If you had to pick a winner,
They are getting blessed because the rest of the bracket's in haywire. So if they handle their business, the rest of the bracket's helping them out.
if you had to pick a Final Four right now,
No, I literally no idea.
like,
Literally
you think
no
does
idea.
UCLA get there?
I like UCLA.
Does Bama get there?
I
I think Bama gets there.
literally. I don't think I talked to you about this specifically, but I put in 2 futures. I took Duke and I took Connecticut, and Duke's already gone, and Connecticut was
Yeah, I was
there.
super high
And
on
I took
Duke,
those
too.
two because I like those two teams at +2. Like it was like 2K or something like that.
For UConn too?
Yeah, but besides that, bro, like I do like UCLA, but the thing about UCLA, I love how their core's been there before, but the injuries, bro, they literally all have been injured, and they're all battling injuries. So it's hard to back them.
But you also have the tournament curse for Gonzaga where they can just never get the job done.
Tournament curse for Gonzaga. I'm looking at Alabama, and Brandon Miller is unbelievable, and I love the basketball that Javon Quinley's been playing because I've rooted for him since he was in high school, and even when he was at Villanova and then transferred. He's playing really good basketball, and he's a good piece for their team. Really kind of engine guy, kind of like their vet, been there for a long time. But I just feel like that they had the makings of a team where the other 4 guys besides Brandon Miller is going to have that night where they slip up, and is he going to be able to lift them over the edge? If it doesn't happen, like I said, that fall off night doesn't happen, Alabama probably wins the Natty. But it's basketball, it's March, things are bound to happen. I feel like Brandon Miller's going to need one stellar game. I don't know if it's going to be the Elite Eight, the Final Four, whatever, or even this game coming up, that he's going to have to lead those guys over the top in one big-time game. Can he do it? I don't know. He is unbelievable, and he is as advertised, and I would pick him number 1. But this gets weird in March when shit like that happens. Another team gets hot. I don't have Alabama in my Natty or in my Final Four. No, I think they're more prone to get upset than maybe like a. Well, it's not really upset.
Well, because they have
I feel like they're as the. Well, you said we have our 1 and 2 playing each other, and then besides that it's Bama, and then our other 2s.
yeah,
I think they're the most prone to get upset.
because they have their road essentially, but they have a good road to get there.
Mm.
They have San Diego State and then the winner of Creighton Princeton.
You say it's a good road, but San Diego State's not no good road.
Right.
San Diego State's going to slow that game down. They have essentially their whole core and their best players were all there last year. Like, they play tremendous defense. I think they rank in the top 30 or top 20 in opponents' points per game. That's off the top of my head, but it might be around there. It's probably even better. That is fucking scary. Like,
I
and
also
thi-
would be-
and I think that San Diego State's like a 7.5 or 6.5 point.
I'm
dog.
also. I mean, I would be scared if I'm going into this game for San Diego State. I mean, you're coming off games where Alabama outscored their opponents by 20 each fucking game.
So
Like, team's a doghouse. I mean, team's a what's the word I'm looking for?
I mean, Alabama's good, dude, but like, bro, this is literally, I don't know. When you're a team that's rolling like this, and you're about to go into a team that's about to slow you down and try to keep you in the 50s and 60s and just try to play rough you up, tough you up, like basketball, defensive basketball, instead of running with you so you can let your talent show. Like a Maryland team, they're trying to run with you and score with you. Like they can just literally let their talent show and outscore them. San Diego State's not going to try to do that. And I think that's going to be a real interesting matchup. I think San Diego State might be the team to do it. If not, I think they'll be able to cruise to the Final Four at least.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, call me chalky. Like, call me chalky. I don't really give a fuck. I think Alabama and Houston are both getting to the Final Four.
Yeah, that's fair.
I also have to be biased for Houston
usually-
because I do have them in my bracket.
I mean, and usually when these things happen, when you see these upsets and shit, the chalk always rises to the top. It's rarely. We've seen it. I think since it was UConn and in Kentucky where it was like 8-9. I don't think we've seen anything like that since. So usually the cream rises to the top.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? We'll see though. I don't believe in either of those two teams. Unfortunately.
We are in for a doozy this week, headed into the weekend for the Sweet 16, followed by the Elite 8. Leave a comment down below how your bracket's shaking out. Like I said, mine's pretty dog shit. Follow us on our social media platforms at 8080pod on Instagram, at 8080podcast on Twitter, and the name of the show, which is the TikTok the All Day Everyday Show. I did not mention the YouTube. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know all that good stuff. We'll see you guys in the next one. You've been listening to the All Day Everyday Show with All Day AJ and Manny Ruffin. I'm gonna get the outro right this time. My name is Alex Jacobs, but you can call me All Day AJ. We'll be back next week with some more bangers. See you in a little bit.